loved so much, that it meant so much to them, that it was so important to them, that it made Jesus cry. And he said, just check the text. Check the text, because the text said in verse 4, this sickness is not unto death, but for the glory of God. This situation is not unto death, but for the glory of God. The zeros in your bank account is not unto death, but for the glory of God. Morgan the mortgage is still calling, he still want his money, but it's for the glory of God. And you like, Lord, I don't see no glory. I done had one of them weeks, Lord, I don't see no glory. I'm trying to practice and be a good, disciplined disciple. And these people right here, they got one more time. They got one more time. The next person that call up here and say something stupid on the phone, and which, you know, as soon as I spoke it, Minister Juanita, the phone rang. Can I come up there with my dandruff? I said, why, Jesus? Why, Jesus? Why do you feel like your dandruff is a medical emergency? That's how I feel. You can't just run by the store and get you some Selsun Blue or something like that. And he said, don't you say that. And I said, well, you're welcome to come and see the doctor at any point during the day. Would you like to make you an appointment? Because I have to remember that this pressing thing, this annoying thing, this irritating thing, this thing that's discouraging me, it's for the glory of God. It's never so dead that God cannot be glorified. The only thing that can keep God from getting glory is us. When we stop loving God and loving people, when we stop practicing the things of God, when we stop praying and having faith, when we stop studying the text, when we stop worshiping, that's when God can't be glorified, because now we have taken God out of the situation and he's the only one that can fix it. Why is it that people seem to think that if God doesn't respond in the time that we put, it's like you baking a cake or something. Okay, Lord, I need to pay this bill, and I need this child to pass this class, and I need new tires on my car, and I need my hair did. Oh my God, I gotta buy these tickets for the gala and do this. Lord, you have until 1 o'clock on Friday to take care of those things. Okay, thanks God. Bye. God is not your sugar daddy. God is not your ATM. God is not designed for you to come to him and call him Father because you want something, because you need something. The only way you can go to your Father and withdraw, there are two things you have to have. The first thing you have to have is relationship, okay? The second thing you have to have is the knowledge of his will. Because if you don't have a knowledge of his will, you can ask God for whatever you want. And if it is not in his will, you will never see it. And if by chance his permissive will allows you to have it, it may cause the greatest suffering in the life you've ever seen. God has two wills. God has a perfect will, and God has a permissive will. In God's perfect will, that means that this is designed and aligned with God's plan to see the glory of God. In God's permissive will, it means that you done got on his nerves so bad, here, eat the candy. You know how them kids be, them kids done went trick-or-treating, they come back with this big bucket of candy. They already got 16 cavities in their mouth. Every 5 minutes, can I have a piece of candy? Can I have a piece of candy? Can I have a piece of candy? You don't need a piece of candy. 5 minutes later, can I have a piece of candy? Eat the candy. Let all your teeth fall out. I don't care. In God's permissive will, he said, eat the candy. Go on, eat it. Go on, date him. Go on, marry him. Quit the job. Buy the car. Fleshly desires will get you in a place of God's permissive will so quick. And then you end up footing the bill and be like, I know the Lord gonna make a way. I'm gonna work these 2 jobs until the Lord make a way. I know my ship gonna come in because God ain't gonna leave me out here. You in that permissive will place. God wouldn't have me to be alone. So this, he loved Jesus. He cussed and he drinking. You gonna tell me he loved Jesus? Okay. Marry him. God will let you do whatever you want to do. You be standing around looking like Lot's wife, hoping you could disappear to get away from what you have placed yourself in because of the if you put in the presence of God. We are the if. We are the if factor. We are the wild card. When we do things that are not godly things, we have now stepped in between the presence of God and the will of God, and we have redirected everything that God wants to do. And God is just waiting for us to get out of the way so that he can raise up what's dead in our life. Verse 34. And he said, where have you laid him? Your burdens, your concerns, your dead things, where have you laid them? Have you laid them on the altar before the Lord? Have you laid them on your bestie? Are you laying them on your spouse? Are you making this the responsibility of your employer that you have the sufficient amount of money to pay you? Where have you laid this thing that has caused you so much distress? And then when you lay it there, if it's been more than 4 days, if it's been more than 4 months, if it's been more than 4 years, I'm just going to pick it back up. I'm going to do something different. What is there in the earth that you can do different that's going to give you a better outcome than God? I'll wait. Don't everybody answer at the same time. Because as people of faith, we have to remember that no matter how grim it looks and no matter how heavy it is and no matter how hard it may seem, that there is nothing in the earth that's going to give us a better outcome than God. There is nothing that's going to sustain us better than God. There is nothing that's going to be more faithful than God. He's proven himself over and over again. The Old Testament is designed for us to see the power and the awe and the greatness of God. The things that they tell in the Old Testament, the stories that they tell in the Old Testament are almost so unbelievable that you be like, that did not happen. Yes, it did. Theologians will even teach that some of the Old Testament is hyperbole. So it's a very interesting thing that they did that. When he parted the Red Sea, theologians try to teach that didn't really happen. That can't happen. So twice, hurricane season, the Lord sucked the water out of the bay. Y'all was here, right? Y'all seen it on the news. Y'all seen it was water here, and then it won't no water. And the people was walking on what? Dry land. Reproducing what God had already done. Because we're in a time where God will show up and make sure you see his glory and see his power. But we got to lay down and leave that thing there so that when he comes looking for it, because if they would have moved Lazarus instead of placed him in the tomb behind the rock, that's a whole nother message. We ain't got time to talk about being behind the rock. If they would have moved him from behind the rock where he was resting, waiting on the power of God to come in and change his situation, God would have came by and said, oh, I must not be needed here because I'm looking for the thing that you prayed about. I'm looking for the concern that you had. I'm looking for you cried out unto the hills and you looked for your help, and when your help came along, someone had taken away the thing I came to heal. I know the doctor gave you the diagnosis, but I told you not to take that medicine because it wasn't needed, because I was going to bring the glory of God into your body. And when I came by to see about the healing that you asked for, you had decided that old Dr. Kevorkian would do a better job than me. And so, verse 40, Jesus said to her, did I not say to you that if you would believe, you would see the glory of God? Somebody say, help my unbelief. It's just a real place in a human's mind to have just a little bit of doubt, just a little bit of unbelief, especially when you're working a process. So I decided that this year for Thanksgiving I was gonna bake bread. I figure I'm a good enough cook, and I cook enough things and I bake enough. I can make some bread. So I have to do practice bread, because I can't have people come over to Thanksgiving dinner and I give them a rock and tell them it's bread. It just don't work like that. So I've been doing practice bread. So one of my practice breads is a sourdough. I've been working on a sourdough. It takes 7 days to make sourdough bread properly. Okay. When I tell you, I'll be looking at that jar. It ain't been 7 days, but I'll be like, but maybe. Let me go back to Pinterest and look at a different recipe that don't take that long. Let me. People got quick recipes, easy sourdough in an hour. And we be looking at our situations, and God said, let the process play out. Don't touch it yet. Wait. Let the process work, because Jesus might be over there. He's on his way to you. Just wait on the process. It's working out. It's changing. There's favor on your behalf. There are things happening in the background that are going to matter in the forefront of your life, but you got to wait. And I'm looking at this jar and I'm going, is it supposed to look like that? Why is it bubbling? Should I stir it? Should I add something to it? Should I take something away from it? Lord, should I pray again? Should I call pastors? Should I ask Minister Juanita to pray for me? If I get Tom and Minister Juanita together, it's two of them, and then two or more come in agreement, and that's gonna bring more power to my prayer. That work the process, because when patience has its perfect work complete, that's what it's saying, James. In James it says. Back to James 1. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into trial.
Thank you for being with us today. Elevation Life Center. It's a center where faith and family grow together. See you soon. And remember, we're always lifting you higher. Elevation Life Center, where faith you. Elevation Life.